Hello and welcome to this episode of Coffee Conversations. I'm Matt Nova, Student Services Coordinator.
I'm Rochelle Hawks. I'm a first grade teacher at Jackson Elementary School, and I also have a child with some special needs.
Awesome. So Rochelle, as a teacher who is familiar with our school system, and now as a parent getting to know that system differently, what are some things that, or some takeaways you've had with that?
I think as a teacher, you feel ready to go and prepared for the meeting. And as a parent, it feels intimidating, and you feel a little bit like on the outside of the circle, and you're trying to explain to them what your child is like and understand what they're trying to tell you about their learning environment. So that's hard.
So is there anything in our system as you're navigating through as a parent that you see differently now because you're experiencing it differently?
Mm-hmm. I think as a teacher, I always thought I was doing my best to individualize things for children, but I think I forgot how busy the pace of education is and how just slowing things down and being more patient helps the child so much more. And especially knowing my child needs that and hoping somebody out there is doing that for my own child, that's kind of helpful.
So in the school system, we have our own lingo and terminology, and in special education, we love acronyms.
Mm-hmm.
Have you run into any situations as a parent where the jargon is getting in the way of your understanding and your participation in the meeting?
I have. I think a lot of the medical world has been hard, and then also in the educational world, I have to ask a lot of questions, and I have to be willing to say I don't understand what that means. And what's ironic is I am an educator and I still don't know, so that should make everyone feel better. If you are even in the profession, there's things changing all the time, and you need to know that information. So being vulnerable to ask those questions is important.
As you're connecting with your colleagues here at Jackson, and if you were to give them like the top 2 things that you would hope that they would implement that are maybe quick and easy things to implement for students with special needs, and maybe one thing that would be like a longer goal that might take a little bit. But what might you suggest?
I think when you see behavior, not assuming it's just the behavior, realizing that you need positives to even help the child get to the behavior changes they want to see. So for my son, he wants to do the right thing, but if you start out with like the negative part of it, he's going to shut down right off the bat. So start out with some positives to work towards and know it's going to take a lot of time. And then the second thing would be to accept the child, even though it's hard sometimes because they can't help what's going on. And as a parent, it's hard because you want them to be where they need to be, but it takes a lot longer.
As a system, is there something you think that could be improved that would be that more long-term thing? It might take a little while to get going.
The system, I wish we had better resources in a location that everybody could get to, because I feel like they have that in different pockets, but for your kid, you have to go on a wild goose chase to find all those things. And I'm very fortunate that I speak the language, I have resources that I can turn to, I'm in the profession. But if I didn't have all those things going for me, I don't know if I could figure that out. So I want to help others, and then I would like to have parents work together to figure that out, because we can't find all the right resources, even though we're trying. And so we got to keep working on that.
All right, Rochelle, well, thanks so much for sharing with us about your experience both as a teacher and a parent, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of Coffee Conversations.